come here and to perform in support of the deaf community and to bring his music to Kenya. Next to Albrosie is Ras Julio. He is our colleague. Ras Julio works with the House of Rastafari. You probably heard of Rastafari, spiritual movement, cultural movement. And Julio is from Italy, and his mission is to spread the teachings and the inspiration of Rastafari. Next to Julio is Prince Otouch. Prince Otouch is my partner. We work together. We organize the event together. And Prince Otouch brings Don Campbell. That's the second international artist. Because when we planned this show for Albrosie, we learned that Otouch also had a show on the same day. So I called him and I said, like, instead of competing, let's come together. And we agreed to do it that way. So this was my introduction. Do you want to add something, or shall we?
No, mine is just also kind of to repeat what you've said, to thank you for coming over, and also to thank Kenyans in general for supporting this project. I've played reggae music in this country for over 25 years, and we haven't had such a charity event. It's the first one, although we've had quite big events, and Kenyans have been quite, they have received this very well. It's to thank members of the media and also to thank the Kenyan community for embracing this concept of supporting the deaf community. So I'll keep it very short. We have a wonderful event here at the KICC ballroom floor. It will be happening tomorrow on the 15th of February from 7 p.m. and we are featuring two great international artists, Albrosie and Don Campbell. I have the pleasure of having witnessed the shows of these two artists in different settings in Europe, and Albrosie's short summer jam that I attended was quite a huge one. He's quite a very big figure in Europe, and when my colleague told me that Albrosie is coming with the full band, I was quite excited, and we said instead of competition that I have Don Campbell performing in one venue in the same city, and he's got Albrosie performing in the same city, Nairobi, in a different venue. He said, why don't we come together for the sake of the charity? So for me, I'll just say that, and also to reiterate that tickets are still available on mtaani.com. They are going very fast, so I'm not sure whether people will be able to get the tickets, but just rush there and get your tickets now. And that's all. And Albrosie, King, welcome to Kenya.
Thank you very much, Kenya. Nairobi. I'm here with my band to spread good reggae music and to spread good message and unity. Because reggae, it's reggae with a cause. Reggae already is a cause. So this is a plus, right? So we make it plus. And it is a must that we pass through and contribute to the cause. I love Africa. I love Kenya. You know, so for me it's just a pleasure, and I'm ready, full on you. Julia?
Yes, it's a joy to be in Kenya, to be in Nairobi, where so much wonderful people love reggae music, and it's even more of a joy being here with a mission. So Albrosie is a messenger of reggae music and Rastafari values since now decades, and to have Albrosie and Don Campbell, of course, join the adventure and join the mission of Roots and Culture Travel, represented here by Joss, in support of the deaf community, is really something valuable. And I'm sure that everybody that will come to the concert tomorrow will be fully satisfied. And I would like to add only one small thing. Tomorrow you will see also the presence of the Rastafari community of Nairobi, especially Kibera. It's called Haile Selassie Foundation, is the Rastafari community in Kibera, Nairobi, and they will be here to represent the activities, the strength and the militancy of the Rastafari people, and they will be talking about their work in order to help the Rastafari community and non-Rastafari community in the afflicted places of this city. So that is why we are delighted to have them on board.
So you talk about exactly, so my name is Edgar. My first question is, you talk about exactly working with the Rastafari community from that is Kibra. What is this unique about Kibra that indeed you tend also to join them on board as you people will be having this kind of an event?
Yes, my brother, thank you for your question. Last time when we came here in November, we received a beautiful welcome by the Rastafari community, Haile Selassie Foundation, in the heart of Kibera. We went there for a visit and we received a beautiful, beautiful welcome, very warm welcome. And we want to highlight their works and their 30 years long activity in helping the youths in the heart of the ghetto through teaching skills in order to reach self-reliance, independence, and to give meaning to their lives. This is what the Rastafari community, Haile Selassie Foundation, is about, to help youths finding a direction in their lives, so not to fall into the hands of the rude boys, the gangs, and violence. So I represent the House of Rastafari, which is a cultural service in Europe, now from 20 years. We are part of the Rotterdam Sunsplash Festival, which is the biggest reggae festival in the world. And we, as House of Rastafari, we are partnering now with the Haile Selassie Foundation for the sake of Rastafari and help the afflicted ones.
So when it comes to reggae music, it has been one of the key things people, so I think it's like a norm that most of the people love reggae music, that is in Kenya. How are you guys, as a team, how are you people going to make sure that indeed you are able to accommodate exactly the number of people who will show up? Because I know exactly the love for reggae music in Kenya is a bit one of the biggest. People really love reggae music. So how are you people able, will you people be able to exactly accommodate the number of people who will come out for this kind of event?
I think this place is quite big. I think that it will host a good number of people. And maybe it won't be the last time that we'll be here. So when we come back, we can have even bigger numbers. But this place will host a good thousands.
Comment on your question. It's correct that Kenyans love reggae. When I walk the streets, I hear it everywhere. But organizing events in Kenya is very challenging. It's very challenging. A lot of events failed recently. They got cancelled the last moment. The promoters didn't pay the venue, or there was some political protest or anything, or the artist was refusing to perform. A lot of things. So people are careful buying tickets. So we hope also with this press conference and other presentations we have to show the people that we are very experienced event organizers. Me and Otouch, we have organized events before. We always delivered, we always had very successful events. Everything is paid, the venue, the artist, he's here, he came with the airplane from Jamaica, so it all worked out. And everyone is welcome tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have on this side music, live stage, drinks. On this side we have a whole, we have different presentations, workshops. This is reggae with a cause. Albrosie also mentioned reggae is a cause already. It's a spiritual music, conscious music. So on this side, the visitors will be able to learn about deaf people, about the House of Rastafari. We have a presentation of natural farming, agroforestry. We have different things to share with the people. So we connect the reggae with those causes.
Okay. Yeah, and probably if I can just also add into that, I think it touches more broadly on reggae music in Kenya. And like I said, I've just flown in with Don Campbell. I live in the UK. I used to play reggae music here in Kenya. And I was here, I've seen King Yellowman perform in Nairobi, Shabarangs, Shaggy, a list of so many artists, including Culture, Gregory Isaacs, Glenn Washington. But yes, there are some shows which have failed, but also let's give credit to some recent shows which did not have issues at all, and that includes, we've had Sean Paul, who performed here at the KICC, there was no issue at all. We've had Chris Martin, who performed, there was no issue at all. We have Glenn Washington, who performed here at the KICC, there was no issue at all. So what we are trying to do, and what everyone would like to achieve, to we as Kenyans, is to have a scenario where if a promoter says, we have this show with this artist, it will happen exactly like that. And that's what we've seen recently. Chris Martin had a good show. Yes, there was an issue with Senshia's event, but that had nothing to do with the promoters, it was with the audience. So it's just to ask Kenyans, please support this reggae industry, because it's pointless playing reggae music in every household, but then when you bring in a reggae artist, it becomes so complicated. People want to come in for free and all that, and it really doesn't help anyone.
Yeah. Still on that, on the challenge to you, sir, you've maybe, have you encountered some challenges while progressing the concerts?
Apart from everything that's to be expected, communication and organization, no, it went really pretty smoothly, but it requires a lot of effort. We've been talking every day, and what we do notice is that people, when we started to promote this, people were not buying tickets, zero. They were just waiting to see, is this really going to happen? And then we really had to show them what we did in the past. So I noticed there is an extra effort to convince people. But Otach is also right. I mean, it's not only bad promoters in Kenya, there were also successful shows. Kenya is a great country with a great potential. It can be the leader of Africa in the future, and I think a cultural sector, a strong cultural sector, is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me the challenge that I've seen is with the issue of Kenyans having, like when Albrosie performs in Europe, the minute you put up a flyer, it's Albrosie performing in Europe. Tickets will be sold out in a couple of, if not hours, then days. That's the culture of reggae music in Europe. Yeah, I could not afford to see Albrosie this close because I had to be somewhere at the back. Everyone has their tickets and they're way ahead. Now the problem when it comes to Kenya is people love Albrosie, they love Don Campbell. Probably tens of thousands are planning to come. The right way to approach the situation is to get the tickets, because if you don't get the tickets early, it's a big challenge to the event organizers. Probably, let's say we have 20% of tickets sold, so from an organizational point of view, we will be managing to accommodate those 20%. And then on the day of the event, you have 90% have shown up, all at the gate, trying to fight for tickets. It's really quite challenging to events organizers. So if you really and truly love reggae music as a Kenyan, just purchase the tickets, because this is not a banana republic. We've got processes whereby if an event does not happen, everyone should have a right to get their refunds back. But on this occasion, that's the only challenge we've had, to convince people to purchase tickets. Other than that, it's been quite an easy process.
Okay, maybe to you, Albrosie, reggae has a deep roots in African culture. What does it mean to perform in Africa?
Well, you know, the world is one. We are connected.
Pardon?
The world is one. We are connected. So Africa, Jamaica. Jamaica is a little Africa. If you know, if you go, you know. So, you know, it's just a connection of culture, but it's like who we are as people. So when I come to Africa, I'm home. When I'm in Jamaica, I'm home. When I go to Europe, I'm home, because I'm a human. So I see the connection between us. I see the connection between cultures and people. And everywhere I go, to me, it's the same vibe that I get of unity and love, especially because we're dealing with reggae. Reggae is a vehicle, it's a bridge. So performing here now, to me, it's very powerful, because obviously Africa is the motherland, right? So I'm a son of the land. So I have the right to be here.
Can you comment on? Oh, sorry.
Okay, my name is Alan, and I have a question to you, Josh.
All right.
You've mentioned some of the challenges that you guys have gone through when planning the events here, especially the reggae events. And what you said earlier is that what you guys are working on is a movement that is aimed to create a lot of impact within the communities.
Yeah.
You've talked about Mombasa, you've talked about Kibra, but the rest of there are other parts in Kenya where people love reggae so much, and they also want to see you guys do the same. So what are some of the strategies that, one, you have to at least undo the challenges that you've gone through, and number two, to make sure that this movement is all around the country of Kenya?
Well, since we announced Albrosie, we got phone calls from Kisumu, from Eldoret, Mombasa. So we were considering to organize a lot of different shows. It's just again, it's a challenge organizationally. It's a lot of financial risks, and don't forget, everyone wants a big show on Saturday. But I cannot keep Albrosie here with his band sitting here for a whole week.
Oh, you can do it. I love it.
Oh yeah, he loves it. My wallet loves it, not so much.
Keep me here. I love it. I'm staying there.
Well, he's going to the Masai Mara.
Okay.
So
I'm a Kenyan
You
right
will
now.
see,
Yeah.
you
You're
will see
welcome.
more of Kenya. But in the future, I mean, I told you, I came from shows from 500 people max to this level. Maybe next year or later, maybe with Albrosie again, we can do a whole tour in different places. But it requires a very long preparation, and and there's a business side to it. There is an organizational side. So it is our vision, but for now it was just too complicated for us. We are grateful that he's here in Nairobi. He will go to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia next week. And for us, this is the best we can do now, and we are grateful. And if we manage this in a good way, we'll be back for sure.
So,
Yeah, if I
on
can,
that- okay.
I would like to comment on your question because it's very important. The problem that I've seen with what you've highlighted is because in Kenya we have around about 47 counties, but they all sit back, relax, and wait for the county of Nairobi to do something, and then they get the leftovers. That should change. Yeah, we should be in a position. I don't really see why we cannot wake up and find, like, for instance, the county of Kisumu has organized its own reggae show and has flown in artists who've come from Jamaica or from England, wherever, going to perform directly in Kisumu. That culture has to change because it does not happen. What the other counties tend to do is to wait for a promoter to put up an event in Nairobi, and then they kind of joyride on that event. And that creates a lot of challenges. So to all the other people in all the other counties, they should just take your question as a wake-up call that we don't really have to wait for Nairobi to arrange a show and then we get the additional shows. We can come together as a county and just arrange our own shows. I'm also looking really forward to that to that day when we will have, like, Mombasa arranging its own reggae event, that Albrosie can fly in from Jamaica, going to perform in Mombasa, having excluded Nairobi. That's still a culture that Kenyans have to wake up to.
Okay, just have a question on what you just said, your comment, and my question is, how will you make these people understand that there is value in reggae music, there is value in the reggae culture? Because people only invest where they see value. So it's not up to them, it's up to you to show them that there is value in what you're doing for them to be able to do that. Once you show them the value of it, it will be very simple for them to know that I'm putting my money or investment and this is what I'm going to get out of it. So what are your plans or what are your strategies to bring that value out of reggae music? And then question number two, you talked about the audience not coming in. Recently, was it late